Welcome to Charlton Sports Weekly here at Anytime Fitness. Got a few rec things to go over. This Saturday be our finale here for regular season.
There you go. I know you'll be happy.
And there's only 4 games this Saturday, so that makes me even happier.
Get home and watch college football early.
That's right. I think all our teams
are undefeated still.
We've had one of our 7/8s have lost once, and the other one has tied one. But other than that, we're undefeated for the year.
So they'll be out there for All-Stars.
Right. But I think all our teams will be playing against Hilliard teams. Well, actually, I think our 2 7/8-year-old teams are going to play each other.
So somebody's going to get a loss there.
Right. And then I think everybody else is playing Hilliard. I believe that's how it goes. But anyway, this Saturday starting at 10 o'clock. If you want to come out and catch some of it, that'll be the place to be.
That's an early start, too.
And also Saturday we'll begin our basketball sign-ups. So if you're out there, go ahead and sign up for basketball while you're there and save yourself a trip.
There you go. And somebody volunteer to coach so you don't have to.
That's right. I'm sure we always need coaches. So if you're interested in coaching, sign yourself up for that too. As far as football, after Saturday we'll get the all-star teams. We've got 7/8s and 11 and 12s, and they'll play in that Turkey Bowl, whatever, in Waycross, and then in the district tournament. So,
well, good.
Once we get all that information, we'll
pass it along.
That's right. Also, I know it's still football season, but I've got some Bethune basketball is going to start playing end of this month. I think they had tryouts this week. Their first game is November 26th at Hilliard. So, not really too far away, a couple weeks.
That's a couple weeks away, and, by this time next month, or by the middle of December, basketball will be in full swing.
Right.
Just about everywhere, unless you're playing for a state championship, but it's fast approaching.
I said the Varsity Maidens and the Indians, it's assuming we're not still playing football, but their first game was scheduled for November the 30th, and that's at Camden County. So
short little drive for the first game.
Right. So one thing I've noticed about the varsity basketball schedule, we've kind of eliminated all the Florida schools because they're going to be using these power rankings too for basketball. So we have scheduled Camden, Wayne, Ware, and I think Brantley. So all our non-region games are higher classification schools. So
no Hilliard, West Nassau.
None of those this
year.
A
lot of that being just these power rankings are here. That may be all those rivalries may be gone.
Right.
Who knows? Even with baseball.
That's true. I don't know how he's going to do his schedule, but I'm sure Coach Workentine, when he made the schedule out, had that in mind when he called these teams. But that's pretty much it for Rick and Bethune and all that. We'll get into some Indian football later on, and we've got a B-team football game tomorrow, Thursday, out at Indian Field. They had a game canceled last weekend against Wayne County, but Coach Mack picked up Brunswick to come over here and play. So we're hoping that we can come out on top and finish an undefeated season.
Yeah. And that'll be at 5 o'clock tomorrow?
5 o'clock, and y'all will be CharltonSportsNet.com will be broadcasting the game live. So if you can't get there,
log on
and watch it. But right now we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back and talk Indian football.
Anytime Fitness Folkestone, located in the Harvey Shopping Center, has everything you need to stay in shape or get that look you've always wanted. Upright conventional tanning beds, a Zumba room, weight room, and state-of-the-art treadmills. They also have supplements and tanning supplies. Anytime Fitness Folkestone is also the proud sponsor of Charlton Sports Weekly with Glenn Hughes and Stan Wilds. See Stan to get fit anytime.
The Folkestone Pharmacy, your original hometown pharmacy for over 45 years, is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet broadcasts. Folkestone Pharmacy accepts insurance from most local employers, including the City of Folkestone, Charlton County, Babcock and Wilcox, AJM, Charlton Memorial Hospital, and many others. The Folkestone Pharmacy wishes the Indians best of luck this season. United First Federal Credit Union has been a part of Charlton County since 2001 and has been providing great service to our members since 1943. United First now offers mobile banking and email alerts. Mobile banking lets you check your balance from your cell phone, while email alerts notifies you when a significant event happens in your account. Both are easy to set up and are free to United First members. United First helps you afford life. All accounts are federally insured by NCUA.
Welcome back, Charlton Sports Weekly here at Anytime Fitness. We forgot to mention in the last segment, you can go ahead and cover that.
We've got the first annual Charlton County Dugout Club Boston Butt Sale. The Dugout Club is selling the butts. They're going to be ready on Saturday, December the 22nd, and they'll be available for pickup that day at the Indian Field at the baseball field. They're $20 a butt, which is a very good price. And that'll be just in time. You could grab a ticket, freeze it for Christmas Day, take it out, throw it in the oven Christmas evening, and throw it on the table for Christmas dinner.
Right.
And you can see Chris Beasley for the tickets. Any Dugout Club member, you can also see Brian Hewling at State Farm. And they'll set you up with one of these, but $20. That's a good buy. All right, let's go over some Indian football from last Friday night. Disappointing loss.
It was a tough loss.
Yeah. I don't. Was that the first time we ever lost to Telfair? I can't.
We lost to them back in I think when Champ was a sophomore. They had a good team. We played them in the first round of the playoffs, I believe.
Okay. All right. So that was the second time we've lost to them then.
Telfair they're an improved team from last year, but
got a new coach this year.
They had seemed like a whole lot more numbers out, and
they did. Had way more team speed, and from I guess the community's gotten behind them because 2 years ago when we went over there,
it was a ghost
they
town.
had about 75 people on their side. And that included their band.
Right.
But it was a tough loss. Even tougher, it was a region loss. It dropped us a little bit in the rankings.
Right.
But as far as the game went,
we just never could get on track for some reason.
No, we was off track. Starting early or right before halftime, and then in the second half. Our defense played good enough to win the game.
I think so, yeah.
Defense played good enough to win the game, but we gave up that safety and then the 2 pick six, and that's 16 points we gave up right there.
And we had one blown coverage that gave up a touchdown pass, but I guess that happens from time to time. But still, like you said, they played well enough to win if we could put some points on the board.
Right.
We did get 2 touchdown passes, I think, to Daveron Reed and to who the other one? Devin Jones caught the other.
Devin Jones, and then Kurt
Nixon
ran a kickoff back. Defensive leaders, Brent, he led the team again in tackles.
I believe he had 9, and Caleb Smith, I think, finished with 8, which is not bad considering it's just his second game back.
And we need some kids to step up Friday.
Right.
We need some kids that in crucial positions that need to step up. We could possibly host a first round game, or if we're in the playoffs either way.
Right.
If we lose this, then we're on the road. We need to have some kids. Not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but some skilled position players step up let's have play to their potential, and I'm going to just say this: we need our coaches to coach their best game of the year come Friday night.
You know, power ranking wise, like I said, we dropped from we 5th down to 8th now, which is right on the verge. If you're in top 8, you host a first round playoff game. So
if we win, we should have one.
We figure we ought to stay in the top 8 if you win.
I sure hope so.
You never know when you start crunching these numbers, but worst case scenario, you know, if you lose, we'll be on the road somewhere. Some scenarios that I've heard other people say is we could possibly play Irwin County again in the first round on the road in the first round of the playoffs. So we're hoping that's not the case. You know, you don't really want to play a region team, somebody you've already played.
Win or lose, you don't want to play them on back-to-back weeks.
Right.
Everything you threw at them, they could. They already know it, and it's still fresh on their mind. And
no need to exchange films
again. Exactly. I hope, you know, this is the fan and the dad in me.
Right.
I hope we play our best games, our game this coming Friday night, you know, and then let's just take it 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. And who knows what can happen at that point, but you know, I want us to at least have one more game here at Indian Field.
Well, Friday night is senior night, so the seniors, this man will be decked out probably with a suit and tie on. So
no, I won't have no suit.
Oh, come on,
maybe a tie, no suit. No suit.
Y'all probably won't recognize him, but, you know, just look for Brent, and the man next to him, that'll be Stan there.
I can assure you, once we leave the field, I'll be in a sweatshirt and some pants or something, you know. That's happened every year, so. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I need a tear-off suit.
But like I said, it's senior night, so we need everybody to come out there not only just to show their support for the seniors, but get behind all these kids. You know, I'm sure everybody out there wants them to continue playing on.
Yeah.
So
I want them to make it to the state championship game. This is my last go around. You know, after this season, I don't have any more boys.
Right.
So the Wilds boys will be dried up. Their football days here at Indian Field will be over. But I want it to last as long as possible. So we need, like Glenn said, we need everybody there. And make some noise. Don't sit on your butts. Get up and make some noise.
That's right. From the opening kickoff to the end of the game.
Bring your shakers. Bring some air horns if you got them.
I don't think they're supposed to be legal.
Well,
yeah,
I've heard them at other fields. If they can do it, we can too.
Make them make you shut up.
I ain't against rule breaking if it benefits us. So it's only cheating if you get caught, Glenn.
Right. But like I said, be out there, support these kids. Also, don't forget tomorrow, go out and support the B team as they try to finish off an undefeated season. And we'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll do our college picks.
Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation offers more than dependable electrical energy at a competitive price. Quality service is provided by a friendly and professional staff trained to meet your every electrical power need, whether residential, commercial, or industrial. If you have any questions or need information, call us at 1-800-262-5131. Okefenokee REMC, owned by those we serve. A proud sponsor of this year's Indian football broadcast.
T&T Building Supply is located about a half mile past US 1 and the 301 split, north of Folkestone, right next to Taylor Timber Company. They have everything you need for your home improvement projects, with a wide selection of lumber, hardware, millwork, plumbing, and electrical supplies, concrete and masonry, power and hand tools, nails, and roofing supplies. They also have a large selection of mobile home hardware. T&T Building Supply is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet.
Radio Shack Located at 3885 Main Street, inside the Folkestone Pharmacy, is your local Verizon Wireless authorized agent and Dish Network retailer. Radio Shack carries a variety of computers, tablets, smartphones, and other electronics. The Shack in Folkestone is proud of our student athletes and wishes them the best of luck this season. Now, let's go get 'em Indians.
Welcome back to Charlton Sports Weekly here at Anytime Fitness. Time to do our college football picks. Last couple of weeks I'm kind of gaining a game a week. So
yeah, you're gaining one or two a week.
I just don't know if there's enough weeks left for me to catch up, though.
Glenn was 10. I had a week last week, 9 for 10, which is excellent. But Glenn bested me and went 10 for 10. So.
We didn't have a show last week. Adam blamed it on Halloween or something like that. But
that's right.
But we never got to mention, how my Dogs beat Florida. So I just wanted to throw that out before we continue on. Oh, never.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Stan, let's go on with our picks
man.
now.
You got your punches in
That's
now. Right. Not only did they beat them, they must have beat them down mentally because they had a hard time against Mizzou last week. They had a hangover. All right. I don't know. What's the total for the season? Am I still ahead?
Oh, you're ahead by 7 or 8.
I'm up by 7 or 8. All right.
No sweating, man.
Right.
Don't worry yet.
All right. I ain't got to worry about it just yet. Probably by the end of the year, though, I'll blow it. And
maybe if we can pick all the bowl games or something.
Yeah. In the bowl games, you'll catch up and probably win. All right, Notre Dame at Boston College. That's a no-brainer for me.
Right.
Notre Dame had a tough game last week.
Should have lost.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
But didn't.
But didn't. I kind of think Notre Dame's a team of destiny. I'm probably one of the only Southern people that likes Notre Dame. I've always liked their tradition there. And I think they're a team of destiny, so I say Notre Dame goes over to Boston College and beats them.
I'll say they're playing Boston College, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, you'd be stupid if you didn't pick Notre Dame, so I'm not going to be stupid.
All right, Georgia Tech at North Carolina. Georgia Tech started off the first 4 games pretty decent. Now they kind of fizzled.
They're struggling.
They're struggling bad, which is good for you because your Dogs have to play them.
That's right.
I've always liked the Tar Heels, and they've lost a couple games that they shouldn't have.
Right.
And this may be one they do lose, and regardless, I hope Chris Milton has a good game for what time he's going to get to play. But I'm going with the Tar Heels, though.
Yeah, I believe North Carolina's playing a little bit better than Georgia Tech is right now. Plus, it's in North Carolina, so, I'm like you. I wish Chris the best of luck, mainly playing on all the special teams, so, he's had some good games on special teams, but I'm going to have to go with the Tar Heels myself.
All right, Missouri at Tennessee. This was a hard game for me to pick because one's just as sorry as the other.
Right.
Missouri, I don't think that they played up to Florida's potential last week. I think Florida had a hangover and played down to Missouri's potential. And I think Mizzou is having, if Missouri was still in the Big 12, they'd be a bowl eligible already. But they're not. And I think they go into Tennessee, and I think Derek Dooley's job is definitely on the line. And I think the players try and rally around him, whether he's going to stay or go, and they'll win it. So I'll take Tennessee.
Well, like you said, Missouri's struggled against Florida. They threw, I think, 4 interceptions. I think most of them was right down near the goal line, or several of them were. And then you had Tennessee that gave up 600 and something yards to Troy, and I can't remember what the final score was, 50 something to 40 something. So it has the potential to be another high scoring affair. It might be entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
But I think Tennessee Bray, the quarterback, if he can play like he played last week, it shouldn't be a problem for Tennessee.
All right, next game on the slate, Mississippi State at LSU.
Both are coming off
Both
losses.
are coming off losses. Mississippi State last week just got blew out by Texas A&M. And LSU is coming off of a heartbreaker.
That was tough.
And I was hoping they would whip Alabama, but the last minute, literally, Alabama poured it out. And the game's at LSU. I think LSU's a better team anyway, so I'll go with LSU.
I think it may be closer than what you think, just for a letdown standpoint of LSU. You know, I'm sure emotionally it's taken several days to try to get over that loss. So, but you know, if LSU plays to their potential, and they should handle it. I think Mississippi State.
Yeah.
It might take a quarter or so just to get the funk out of them, but they'll be ready to go.
All right, Vandy at Ole Miss. Ole Miss played a good first half last week against Georgia, or most of the first half. Vandy, who did Vandy play?
They annihilated Kentucky. Cost Joker Phillips his job.
That's all right. Everybody's annihilated Kentucky at some point this year. If the game was at Vandy, I'd probably go with Vandy, but it's at Ole Miss, and so I'm taking Ole Miss.
All right, well, we're going to.
Plus, I got a cousin who's a professor at Ole Miss, so I gotta.
Does he watch the show?
He may. He can get me free tickets to any Ole Miss game.
I'd pick Ole Miss too.
We might have to take a road trip at some point. You know.
We do a game day live.
The Grove is one of the top tailgating spots in the country over there.
So we're going to go do a game day live from Ole Miss?
We could. Probably could.
But anyway, Vandy's playing well. Ole Miss has had their whole secondary is young. I think they were playing basically their whole secondary were freshmen against Georgia.
Probably had some high school kids on the field.
Well, they weren't far out of high school, so. And of course, Aaron Murray, once he got going, he torched them pretty well.
He did.
So I'm going to count on Vandy to do the same thing, probably not to the extent of it, but just enough to hang on and beat Ole Miss.
All right, FSU at Virginia Tech. This is a Thursday night game. Keep in mind, Florida State plays their worst football on Thursday night. But they are playing Virginia Tech, which sucks this year.
Who's playing their worst football in decades?
I'm going to pick Florida State. If they were playing like, I don't know, Wake Forest again or something, I'd probably go with Wake Forest, but Vol Tech is horrible this year.
Well, the only advantage Virginia Tech may have if it's freezing cold or something, and all them Florida boys don't like the cold, so.
Yeah.
But Florida State's got definitely more talent and should win this one.
All right, next game. I don't even know. Man, this game is this is going to be a real blowout. Louisiana Lafayette at the Gators.
Must be homecoming.
Or senior day. One of the two. That's a no-brainer. Florida.
Well, you know, I would love to pick against Florida, but I just can't see Louisiana Lafayette beating them. So
the Raging Cajuns, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick Florida.
All right, Arkansas at South Carolina. Carolina had a bye week last week. I think they'll be well rested up, but what happened with Marcus Lattimore with that nasty injury is going to affect them. I hope it doesn't affect them mentally. They've got capable backups, but Arkansas is still Arkansas this year, and I think they're crazy coaches on the way out.
Right.
And I think they've done packed it in and don't really care. And Carolina plays excellent football at home, so I'm going with the Gamecocks.
Like I said, with South Carolina having an open week last week, it should have helped the transition from the injury instead of having to jump right into the following week having to do it. So, You know, these kids backups, they got plenty of practice time in, so, you know, like I said, they're fully capable of playing. So, South Carolina over the Razorbacks.
All right, the Dogs at the Tigers, Georgia and Auburn. I actually think Kentucky would probably beat Auburn this year.
I don't know, have they played yet?
I don't think they have. I don't think they do play. I don't think that's a crossover
That's true,
game.
yeah.
But I think Georgia wraps up the East this Saturday, and they wrap it up big time, like by 40 points over Auburn. So I'm taking the Dogs.
Well, you know, there ain't no doubt who I'm
I
taking.
know we all know who you're taking.
But like I said, it's for all the marbles for the SEC East championship game. I know the Gator fans are going to be pulling hard for Auburn, but you know, they got to beg, so we just deal with it. And
it is what it is. They had their shot, I guess.
That's right.
I don't know.
You know, that's why you play the whole season out until you come to the end. So hopefully, you know, Georgia goes over to Auburn, takes care of business. Then they get to go to Atlanta and face Alabama, which I don't know if that's a reward or not, but at least you have an opportunity.
If they do, with Georgia's offense, I think if they're clicking,
right,
I think they're the best offense in the East that could beat Alabama. And I, you know, as a Carolina fan, that pains me to say that. but they're hitting their stride at the right time, definitely.
I mean, if they can ever put their offense together and their defense in the same game, you know,
they could beat Alabama.
They're a formidable opponent. You're right.
Last game, Texas A&M at Alabama. Alabama's had 2 weeks in a row they played Mississippi State, basically beat them handily. Rough, tough game last week. The game's in Alabama, though. I don't think Texas A&M's going to come in intimidated. I think they're going to come in ready to play. And I don't think Alabama has faced an offense like they're going to face against Texas A&M Saturday. But they're still undefeated, and they're playing at home. So until they lose, I got to pick them. So I'm going with Bama, but I'm rooting hard for Texas A&M because I am sick and tired of Alabama this and Alabama that. And I am so sick of riding through town and seeing Alabama flags, Alabama tags, and I'm thinking, where are these people at 4 or 5 years ago?
Right.
You know, where were they at? I mean, I've never seen such a bandwagon in my life. And it's just not here, it's everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's everywhere. Plus, I despise Nick Saban, or as some people call him, Nick Satan. So I'll root for A&M, but I got to pick Bama.
Like I said, A&M, their quarterback, he's a freshman. He's played well this year, though. But the only game he really didn't play well was against LSU. And I believe Alabama's defense is just as good as LSU, so I have a feeling they're going to shut him down, which is a good part of their offense. So I see Alabama winning this. It may start off a little slow, but in the end, Alabama wins handily.
I'll take Alabama by at least 10, but I hope I'm wrong, though.
Right.
I hope I'm wrong.
But I need to mention the BCS rankings. Kansas State is ranked number 2, and they have former Charlton County player Adam Davis playing on them. So
they just need to keep winning.
If they win out, it's possible that we could have a kid from Charlton County playing for the national championship.
That'd be the first time ever.
Well, no, Justin Williams played at Florida, so he won 2 national championship rings there, I believe. So, anytime you can get a local kid winning the national championship, that's a big deal.
And I'd probably have to root for, if they played Alabama, I'd definitely be pulling for Kansas State.
No doubt.
I think out of all the 4 undefeated teams, Alabama, K-State, Notre Dame, and Oregon, I'd pull for any of those three over Alabama. So most people root for the SEC team, but I root for my team in the SEC. I don't feel obligated to root for the other team.
I tell you, I watched Oregon and USC play the other night.
I did too.
I mean, Oregon's offense is great.
If Oregon could play defense, they'd beat it.
They would be number one right now, probably, but they gave up 40-something points, so I just can't.
They gave up 51.
Maybe
63 to 51.
I knew it was a bunch, but
I watched more of that game than the Alabama LSU game because it was like every time I turned it back, each team had scored. So.
But anyway, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Charlton Sports Weekly. We'll be back next week, hopefully, with good news on the Indians and tell you what's happening as far as playoffs go.